You're listening to The Bon Ray Show. It's 8 in the evening. Tune in every night at 8 to listen to The Bon Ray Show on Irish News Radio or itv.ie. And you can contact anything that you've heard or if anything you'd like to discuss at news@irishnews. Bon Ray Show on itv.ie and Irish News Radio. Today we're talking about the mess of the country. And it really isn't a mess, but you wouldn't know because the RT propaganda machine is on full force about how well we're doing and how well we'll do after Brexit. They've started to kind of say, oh, you know, bad old Britain, trying to make their own decisions and accusing them of everything. And failing to see that this is not going to help anybody. They're not going to be able to stop Brexit. It's just crazy behaviour going on. The TDs are getting a so-called pay restoration of 50 million. Absolutely crazy. And then in the EU, the human rights of EU has ordered Britain not to tell when terrorists are Muslims. They gave them 23 meddling demands to Theresa May. And they claim that after Islamic Attack, Islamic phobia grows. Well, surprise, surprise. Yeah, if you're getting blown up by Islamics, fear of Islamics or people who practice Islam is probably going to grow. Yeah. And what happens to cause more fear is when you keep telling them that they have some sort of mental disorder and it has nothing to do with Islam. And it's clearly that they were Muslims and were practicing Islam. And that they said it was for Islam and ISIS. And then media comes out with the bullshit. And that is adding to the fear. And having a fear of Islam is just having a brain. People blowing people up is quite different from maybe the odd rude word somebody would say to a Muslim. It's quite different than blowing them up and gang raping them and chopping their heads off and all the other things that happens to the British, native British in Britain or in any European country. That is quite a different level than comparing people who might say a bad word and have a bad feeling. There's nothing happening to Muslims. They're not being gang raped. They're not being blown up. They're not being mutilated because they're Muslim. The only thing is that people will tell the truth about them. Or maybe somebody might say something to their face. Big swing. Or maybe they might get a slice of bacon into a mosque. Big swing. They're not being murdered or mutilated or gang raped. So, you know, time to see like with like. It's absolutely crazy. The UK ministers firmly rebutted the demands. Well done, Britain. Telling the EU human rights, the government is committed to free and open press. Mind you, I don't know about whether they are because they've hid so many gang and grooming gangs that were Muslims in the UK for years and years. And they literally protect them. So they have really gone out of their way to protect Muslims. So I don't know whether they really do have a free and open press. But I suppose maybe at least they're trying to aim for that, not like the rest of countries. And they don't like to be dictated to, which is very much why the British were always going to leave the EU. The British do not like being dictated to by anyone. Jacob Rees-Mogg says, if we can get a deal, we will leave with or without a deal. If the EU refuses to access changes to the backstop, so Northern Ireland, if they're not willing to change it, then they will leave without a deal. 39 million ransom for freedom to make our own decisions and our own business and our own choices. It will be money well spent. So they're willing to pay the ransom, which I think is actually crazy, but they do know it is ransom. The thing that they absolutely or will not back down
is Northern Ireland. They're not open for land grab of Northern Ireland. Now, a lot of idiots in Ireland believe that, oh, you know, if we get Ireland to be united under what? If we got the 6 counties back, we're not getting the 6 counties back. It's going to the EU. United under the EU. Why would we do that? The Independence War was for independence, not to be in any union. What we should be doing is getting out ourselves. And yeah, then go for 32 counties. Absolutely all Ireland. But as an independent, sovereign country, not under the EU. What difference does it make if we're under the EU or British? We have more in common with the British. Why would we want to be stuck under this dictatorship? It's absolutely, why would we? What's the point of giving the Northern Ireland to the EU? What would be the point of that? It's just giving it to another union. We wouldn't be independent. Sure, we were 32 under the UK. We fought for 800 years to get out of that. So why would we want to give it away to another union? It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Absolutely agree in 32, but as an independent sovereignty, what we should be doing, using the UK to help us get out of this bloody union. And to keep our trade deal, by Simon Covey going over to America to plead with the Americans and the Canadians to force Britain to have a backstop, is not going to force Britain to have a backstop. It will anger the British, and everyday British people will be angered by that. They will just go, F you, Ireland, we're not trading with you. Survive without us. That's what will happen. They won't go, oh, you know what? America and Canada are threatening us if we don't do what they're told. America, for a start, highly unlikely will threaten the UK that they have to stay in or give the 6 counties to the EU. It's unlikely that America is going to do that. Canada may do. But you know what? England will just go, F you. They're not up for land grabs. This isn't about taking their country. You know, this is complete land grabs. They want the whole of what they see as their country. I do believe it is the island of Ireland. I do believe we should be all one, but not under the EU. If we're going to be one as independent and sovereignty. Completely free. But we have needed the UK, and this is the reason why we joined the EEC, was to trade with the UK. Nobody else. We don't actually need anybody else. The English are laughing because they have so much trade outside the EU. And so do we. We have America and a lot more. But our government is insisting on keeping us in as slaves. It only suits them because they're getting nice pay packs. It doesn't suit us at all. What are we getting? What are we getting? We were paid 43% of the euro banking crisis and a 0.1 population of Europe. It's absolutely insane. What are we getting? More evictions. People kicked out. People are saying they're blaming, oh, don't blame the EU, blame the Irish government. Who is the Irish government working for? They're not independent and sovereign. They're working for the EU. They're all EU puppets. That's why they want to stay in. They're getting great pay packets. We need a government for the Irish people, and not EU puppets. We've had enough of this EU puppet business going on, and we need to have a government for the Irish. And what we should be doing is, instead of threatening England, we'll go to America and Canada to get the bigger boys to kind of threaten you. What we should be doing is making a deal with the UK on how Ireland is about to leave with them, and how we will continue on trade with them, and how our freedom of movement will be intact anyway, because it's been predates any EU or EEC agreements. So all that's intact. All we have to do is go to the UK, if we had a government that was interested in the Irish, and make a deal to get out with the British, to get out, that we all go out together. And then go for independence, if that's what the Irish want. But independence is not possible in the EU. You're not independent and you're not sovereign. So what would be the point of giving 6 counties back to another union? So we're all in the same union. We should have stayed with the British then. Then we were in the same union as well. That's not what we wanted. That's not what Independence War was for. Thank you again for listening on the Bonry Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. This week we should be listening to Eileen, the wonderful Eileen, about what's happening in the UN. So hopefully we'll get to hear from her later on. If not, we should be talking to her during the week. All right, thank you for listening on the Bonry Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.